Well, Marvel Studios had planned to release the first official Avengers Age of Ultron trailer with next week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, sometimes the internet doesn't cooperate with your plans. A copy of the film was leaked online yesterday and spread like a wildfire, prompting Marvel to release the trailer themselves last night. Avengers Age of Ultron opens in AMC Theatres on May 1st, 2015. John, what did you think of the Avengers trailer?
Okay, so before I get to the trailer,
Just take a breath.
I can only imagine if he's staying in a hotel somewhere in Hollywood, the producers of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. losing their crap last night. I mean, but we'll get to that in a bit. I love the trailer. The imagery in it was fantastic. I mean, I'm just going to give some quick thoughts here, and then I'm sure we'll get into the discussion. But the imagery was great. We all knew the voice of James Spader was going to be the right one. We all knew it. I wasn't prepared for how right his voice is. That dude paints with the intonations in his voice. He paints pictures with his voice. I mean, even in that first line he says, when you're all puppets with, first of all, sounding frantic with strings.
Yeah.
Strings.
I know.
It's just like, oh! Like, it's like, woo! So, like, I sat, I probably watched, like, without exaggeration, I probably watched about 15 to 20 times. So I have some other thoughts on it as well, but I want to get everybody else's first initial. So Amy Rose, let's start with you. Your first thoughts after you saw the trailer.
I was completely blown away. I didn't think my excitement could raise it even further for the sequel, and it has. I mean, the Pinocchio, I have no strings, slow mode over it, and the introduction of the twins, and Andy Serkis, and the Hulkbuster armor, and like, oh my God. And it was so much darker, and like with the sequel, with Joss Whedon back, you knew the stakes were gonna be raised, and it's just like, they just captured, I got chills, I have chills now. It's just like, it really is just so beautifully shot, and like it looks like the character moments, and you see, Thor holding up Tony, and like that's brewing, and like it's just everything. I watched it only 10 times. I'm sorry, but I was completely blown away. This is like a film in a trailer. It's just so artistically woven together, and I literally am freaking out with joy.
So today's show was originally going to have 3 people on it, and then 10 minutes after the trailer dropped, I get this text from Christian last night. I want to be on the show tomorrow. Okay, come on in. So Christian, your thoughts on the trailer?
I will start by quoting another movie. Everything is awesome. I was watching. I did text John. I go, dude, I have to be on. I have to talk about Ultron. It looks so amazing, and we all are expecting this trailer. And from what we've been hearing from people who have heard things about it, that it's gearing up to be a darker movie. Yeah. The rumors that we just heard about the supposed Civil War storyline, it certainly seems it's going that way. Even in this small portion that we've got in this trailer with Tony saying it looks like it's all coming ahead and nothing can last forever, and the Hulkbuster against the Hulk, and then a tease of the Black Panther with Andy Serkis. There's all these cool things happening, but I loved the Pinocchio thing, minus, thank God the Blue Fairy was nowhere to be seen. But when you're watching this and this whole thing of got no strings, so it's just playing, and Ultron is going to be a force. We knew it.
Finally.
Now we see it. This is going to be someone they're going to have to battle. And then in Avengers 3, they have to battle Thanos. Oh my God, this trailer is the best. It's the best.
Mary, what were your initial impressions?
Well, once I had scooped up all the brain matter that had come out of my ears and put it back into my head, this trailer blew me away, and it blew me away for all the reasons you guys are mentioning, but also because it did what I think a perfect trailer should do, which is hint at the character arcs and the storyline and the world and the global scope of this film, because it's all over the world. And like you're saying, the darkness and the hopelessness that you feel. This is the end of phase 2, this movie. So I think you really feel that. But it doesn't give away the farm. It doesn't tell you everything. It kind of drops little hints, and like you said, it weaves everything together. And I also was blown away by the sound and the way like you said, his voice is like this beautiful painting, and it was such a good way to put it. But it's also the little girl singing, and then how her song and his voice kind of come together when he says, I'm free, and there's it's so. I can't even talk about it. I like get goosebumps, and I need to go like be in a corner by myself.
And how about on their Twitter handle when they wrote, "Damn it, Hydra," which is so smart.
I wanted to
So
get
clever.
to that. You can't talk about the trailer without talking about the circumstances in which it came out. Because remember, of course, we talked about it yesterday. Marvel had announced they were going to release this trailer with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next week in an attempt to try to get some ratings back for that show. And it was a genius plan. So much for the plan. And there are two things that Marvel could have done. And this is why I am continuously floored, not just with Kevin Feige, but even Kevin Feige's bosses, about how really smart the people at Marvel are. A lot of studios could have tried to go into lockdown mode. Because once that trailer leaked, remember, in case you didn't know, before Marvel released the trailer, it was leaked a few hours ahead first. But once it leaked, it was everywhere. Some other studios might have, okay, get everybody in the legal departments together, start going after everything, try to get this shut down, blah, blah, blah. But Marvel stepped back and went, we lost this one. We lost this fight, so let's just take advantage of it. They put out this hilarious tweet.
Brilliant.
That said, damn it, Hydra. I mean,
All hail.
they owned it. They took a defeat, and they owned it.
And they turned it into a victory.
A huge win.
Because when they did that, by releasing it, and you get all the traffic that everybody's talking about it already too, and then you're like, instead of waiting, now let's get the traffic for us. Where obviously everyone's passing it around. Get rid of the leaked ones. No one's going to care about the worst quality ones.
Exactly.
And the HD.
Let's give them the HD one. Release it now.
That's a great point. And because that's the thing. Even if they tried to fight it, millions of people are going to see it. And if you're Marvel, do you want them to see this low-quality, crappy version? No, let's get them the real stuff. And did you notice, too, in the crappy, low-quality version, it said, coming in April. And I'm like, what? April? Rewind. Coming in April. What? And then when they launched the official one, it's coming in May. So I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know what the deal with that was.
Maybe it's an international one.
Might have been an international one. But they were the exact, otherwise they were the exact same trailer.
I would assume it was an international leak.
Can we also talk about the beauty and the symmetry of how they tie in drama and action in the trailer and what a challenge that is? Because you see how broken down they are when they're all like defeated and sitting around, and every picture's like a painting. There's ballet in this trailer. I was like, thank you.
And what I thought they did well,
Such a cultural
because
hit.
you know you're going to get humor in this movie. You have to. It's the Avengers. But I thought it was smart that the first official trailer that you see is painting the bleak first. Because overall, that's the kind of tone you're going to get coming out of this movie. But I don't think anybody should worry that this is going to be a dark, dreary movie as far as throughout the whole thing, because we want to see the Avengers going back and forth. Because even the clip that they showed at Comic-Con supposedly was before that scene where Ultron comes out. They're all goofing around with each other. So we're going to see that. I don't think anybody should be concerned that that's not going to be there, because that is part of the reasons what made the first Avengers so special was the camaraderie and the fun and the chemistry.
They set it up in the first one, and now we're going to really see how they use it in a time of crisis. It kind of made me think of Empire Strikes Back in the way it's like the middle of the story, and it's super dark, and Iron Man's like, it's my fault. Like Tony Stark's basically saying it's my fault.
That leads me to my criticism about the trailer.
And was it long enough?
Despite the fact that it could have stood to be another
20 minutes,
50 minutes long.
2 hours,
maybe a couple hours.
No, my one criticism. Remember, I ate it up. I sat down, I watched this thing over and over and over again. Watched it again this morning. Watched it over and over again. My one criticism could be this, though. I can't help but wonder, and I'm saying wonder because my experience with the trailer was great. I can't help but wonder if they went a little too heavy. I mean, because this is a very heavy trailer. There's not. This morning, I specifically watched it again to watch for this one thing. Is there any smiles in this trailer? One, is there a single smile in this trailer other than Ultron himself? Which, and that's the other thing. Why does Ultron have teeth? Anyway. He's got human teeth. He says, if he's pausing, there are no strings on me. He's got Optimus Prime teeth.
Exactly.
Which when it's on Optimus Prime, everybody will trash it as stupid, but it's on Ultron, so everybody's gonna say it's awesome. Anyway, that was just a little thing. But I did notice that it was so heavy. And one of the marquee things for me about Avengers is, and what makes it so distinct from, say, like the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, is that sense of fun. It is one of the most fun films. Even when the world's in peril, even when there's a lot going on, they can still find a way to make it fun, a little bit like the camaraderie. And I felt like the trailer was one paintbrush. And I felt they could have touched it up a bit more, But I'm arguing devil's advocate stuff here because for me, I loved it. I
can see you in your eyes.
Yeah.
You're like, well, but I still loved it.
But I think that was strategic. I really do.
I agree. I think it was too.
And I think you're going to get some more humor in the second trailer. And I agree with Miri. What I liked about this, because the first Avengers trailer, the thing that for the first Avengers trailers that I couldn't stand was a shot of Hulk saving Iron Man. It gave away the end. Don't do that this time. You don't need it. Everyone's going to see it. What they did, the way they keep doing trailers like this, even if it's like a lighter. Just give us stuff that's going to be fun, give us some moments, but don't give away the movie.
Yeah, and we know we're going to get that comedy. That's what Marvel has done so brilliantly well, not like forcing it on us, but it was just epic, and it's just showing us again, just like what we're in for. It painted that, and I feel like they're going to take a different tonal shift with the next trailer maybe and show us a little more, but we know those character moments are coming. So this is definitely what I wanted to see to just make my heart flutter.
To me, it felt like if I was going to give a Christmas, I felt like this would have been an awesome second trailer.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. And I can feel it in the force that a million fanboys crying out in terror that I dare said anything that might be a remote criticism about the Avengers trailer. How dare you? But I mean, I loved it. I just feel like maybe it could have been a little bit more well-rounded because I remember I was talking to a couple people online last night who aren't necessarily Avengers fans. And one of them has seen Avengers, one of them has not. And watching them, and one of them was back home in Canada, and talking to them online and saying, I don't know, I'm just depressed watching that trailer. It's like, okay, if you're not plugged in, if you're somebody who's not already plugged into the Avengers and Marvel world, does that trailer suddenly make you go, I want to go see this movie?
I think so.
Well, for some people it did not. The people I talked to, it did not. But
Really
for the vast majority of us who are already plugged into this Marvel world, and we understand this Marvel world, and that's the majority of us, let's face it, you're damn right it made us more excited
and
about
it's
seeing
beautiful.
it.
It was a beautifully shot trailer.
Yeah.
So beyond just the intensity, some people see movies because they want joy in their lives.
Right.
I see it for the experience, and we are in for one hell of an experience from this one.
Speaking of experience, it was very cool to see Andy Serkis pop up in there because there was rumors of what he was going to do.
Awkward too.
Awkward.
It's like, all of a sudden Andy Serkis.
I think it was a nice. I think it was again Marvel saying, "Hey, by the way, that might be Ulysses Claw, Black Panther." That's what we're saying. Compare those pictures. Ulysses Claw and Andy Serkis from that shot. Compare them and see what you think.
He did actually before we started. Recording. He was like, "Look, it's amazing."
Well, I mean, it would make sense because I mean, they have. Okay, I use the word "have to," and they don't have to, but it would seem to stand to reason that one of the elements of this film has to be in the comic books. One of the things that makes Ultron so dangerous is that he's made out of adamantium. Which is the most indestructible thing in the Marvel Universe. However, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they cannot use adamantium. That's a Fox thing. That's a Wolverine thing. So I believe they're going to be. I believe they're going to be saying he's made out of vibranium, which is the same stuff that's Captain America's shield is made out of. So, and that of course comes from Wakanda.
Yeah.
In the comic books, at any rate, that doesn't just because it's in the comic book, that doesn't mean that that's the way they're going to follow it in the movie. But it stands to reason that they probably will.
I think so.
So. It would make sense that they start opening doors for us in this movie to introduce a wider world, and that would eventually lead to a Black Panther.
Of course they're going to. That's the Marvel way. They keep throwing in every single film. We heard Stephen Strange and Cap. We heard, they keep expanding their universe slowly before our eyes, and I feel like he's the perfect character to introduce here.
The most iconic shot for me, though, and I've talked to a few people online, and we also that's one of the cool things about this trailer is that. You talk to 20 different people, there's going to be 18 different answers to this question about what do you think was the most iconic shot of this trailer? Because this is a trailer filled with iconic shots. For me, and I know this is kind of depressing, but for me is that slow pan down with just the hand and the broken Captain America. That image for me captures the whole trailer. I mean, but what are some of the other really cool shots?
Hulk throwing the car into the Hulkbuster, for sure.
Yeah, the Hulkbuster thing, but also just Thor
grabbing.
Yeah, also coming up and not obviously shirtless. Sorry, but
And Ultron saying that and watching them all you could see fear in their eyes staring at him when he was
when Ultron is kind of in front of them and they just look so scared and so defeated, and he's saying the line with the strings.
I have
no strings. That's
I like the evolution of Ultron even in this trailer because you see him as he's forming himself. I think that for me the most iconic shot of the whole trailer is him when he says the line
at the end.
No strings on me.
No strings on me.
And you see him. He looks like he's got the formed helmet and everything. And it's just I think I'm gonna move. I don't want to be in this city anymore.
I mean, it could just be the voice, and it would still. That voice is so amazing. we go back to the voice.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about Scarlet Witch and.
Yeah, well, I saw the
Not
twins.
much,
I'm
not
excited.
much to talk about them.
No.
She looks epic, though. I mean,
She looks
Quicksilver, we
great.
saw one quick little tidbit, but she is.
But
is
I
a
like
little
the
more
fact that they
engaged.
show you that they are significant and that they matter, but they're not. Like we don't know yet
Well,
what their deal is.
here's the totality of Aaron Taylor Johnson in the Avengers: Age of Ultron trailer.
Yeah, well, and Godzilla.
And the two separate.
Well, and he runs past at lightning speed in a moment.
Yeah. So there was that too. I cannot.
Could talk about this for an hour.
We could.
Do a whole
I
show.
cannot wait to watch this damn movie. Okay, the trailer should have been 45 minutes longer.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.